So today I got a new product for you. I got a skid plate. I got the skid plate for the tracker. This is my second version of the prototype. I'm fairly certain this will work. Actually, this video won't release if this doesn't work. Just saying. Anyway, so if you order one of these from me, I have these kits available. I don't know pricing on them yet. Anyway, here's what you'll get. You get the skid plate itself. You get two of the short ribs and one of the longer, more crooked ones. And I'll explain what all this stuff is. And get a couple of these neat little triangle dealy whoppers here. So, we're gonna bend this up. I'll show you how to bend it all up, and then we're gonna weld it up, and we're gonna put it on the tracker. This is prototype number 2. Prototype number 1 didn't work with a diff drop, and I wanna make sure this works with a diff drop. So, got the hole for the oil plug in it here. These holes here, I slotted them. They fit in the factory. There's factory bolts on the tracker. And then these ears up here also fit in factory bolt holes on the tracker. So let's get to it. We're gonna use a frame. My wife's truck, that's what I got for a workbench right now. I'm gonna show you how to bend this up. So this plate is stitch cut. Of course, I'm gonna scratch the paint on this thing. I have a stitch cut across here. I have a stitch cut here, 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 and here. Those are where the bends are. Okay. One thing to keep in mind is it's this way is up, okay? This is the passenger side of the vehicle. This is the driver's side of the vehicle. This right here, that goes out, it goes around the differential sits about right here, hangs real low. This rib right here hit the differential where the diff drops. So I bent the plate to go around it. Okay, so this is your main bend line. This is gonna be the critical one because if you bend this wrong, it's a lot of work to try to bend it back. So, what you're gonna do is, because this is the top of the skid plate, this is the bottom, it's the bash side, right? This has to get bent up. So I got one of my ribs right here, and these there's notches on these, there's holes in here. They go inside there, real nifty, okay? So that shows you, set that on there, and the little grooves, that shows you the angle that we have to bend it. This one, I don't know if I'm going to be able to bend this by hand. I'm probably going to take my grinder, take a grinder with a cut-off wheel, and you can just score right across there to make it easier to bend. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this thing, I'm going to line it up on this truck frame here. I'm going to use a couple C-clamps. I'm going to clamp this down. I'm going to push down on that and see if it bends. Don't know if this is going to work. But let's put one foot here, and I'm probably going to get skewered. Oh, it bent. Started bending. So the nice thing about doing a stitch cut is it actually keeps your bend straight, except for right down here where I didn't stitch it quite enough. I might actually change that in my CAD program and so you have a little better stitch cut there. I'm gonna score this with a grinder. All right, I did not cut all the way through. I just cut a little ways into it. Make that metal a little thinner, a little easier to bend. And it's still stubborn. Okay, that's too far. I bent it too far. That's okay. Nice thing about this is having that score line. It's not that hard to bend back. Just like that, it's bent. And these ribs work. Let's do our crooked rib. I really don't know how this one's going to turn out. So, there. I gotta bend this that way. See that? Fit in all those. Bend that one that way. A little too much. There. And then bend this one back that way. That's why I like doing the little cuts in them, and they're just relatively easy to bend. One went a little too far. I push it back. Guess what? Just like that. It's clipped into all the holes. That's ready to weld. These tabs here are pretty easy to bend up. Grab a pair of pliers. I'm just going to take these tabs here, bend them to a 90 degrees up, about like that. And before you weld that one, before you actually weld that one, put it on the car. Make sure those tabs are bent the correct amount. You weld it first. It's very difficult to change anything. Those tabs up, and then these tabs here are for what are to protect your what's it called? The bolts on your control arms. So those go down. Really hope I'm doing this right. And these cute little triangles, they go, you're gonna weld those. They get welded right in there. So I got a little bit of finessing to do on my angles, but that's gonna turn out awesome. So I'm gonna get the welder set up, and we're gonna start gluing, tacking this all together. So you want to tack it together. You don't want to fully weld it together. You want to tack it, make sure it fits on the car, make sure all your bends are right, make sure I don't have any interference, make sure these holes are going to line up, these holes are going to line up. I really hope they do. I designed them to line up, but we'll see. So that's what I'm going to do. Let's get the welder fired up and get some tacks in this thing to hold it together. All right. Got the old hot glue stick fired up, and so word to the wise, don't tack through the holes on the bottom. You don't want to put your tacks up here on top, because if you have something wrong, you can actually cut these tacks. On the bottom side here, we're going to weld these later, but if you tacked through there, good luck cutting that tack. So we're just going to put a couple tacks right in here. We're going to put one right back here. We're going to probably put a clamp on this to get it. No, probably just pull it down by hand. Get one right up here, and just kind of slowly pull this together. Okay, so I put tacks in the bottom. Now I'm going to move my clamp up here. I'm going to tack the top. It actually looks like I got contact all the way up here, all the way up here. This one needs a little bit of clamp, but I'll probably stick a little tack on this one that looks really good here and here, and then I'll pull this one. But it's looking really good, coming right together. I've designed these so everything clicks together. It should be super simple to build. All right, that's tacked together. These ribs are in there. They're not going anywhere. So, show you the bottom side of this real quick. Oh, I didn't tack the middle one. Anyway, I'll show you the bottom side of this. When we go to weld it all together, we'll weld each one of these through there. There's plenty of hole there. There's plenty of space to get a good weld in here. On those, you don't have to weld. I put my tacks up here because I can cut them off really easy. I'm not going to be welding across here. I'm only going to be welding the other side. So it'll be really good. But I did that so I can test fit it on tracker, which is not in the garage right now. It's outside. I have to do it tomorrow because, in case you're wondering, that's in my way. It's got to go over there somewhere. So. Okay, we're back. Tractor's in the garage. Let's see if the skid plate fits on here. So I'm filming this at the same time I'm filming my transfer case one. So you'll have to jump over and check that video out. So I'll set you guys up over here. Maybe you can see something. Yeah, I think you can see it all right there. Okay, so skid plate. There's a bolt hole right here. There's your control arm here. There's a bolt hole right here that this lines up with, and then there's a bolt hole here and a bolt hole here in this other cross member that the back bolts are supposed to line up with. So this one here, slide it up there like that. The other side I gotta get in a little bit. It's a little bit of a tight fit, but hey, it fits. Yep, that's gonna fit nice. I bent that a little bit too far. Bend that back a little bit, but that's okay. All right. It fits in here. We're not interfering with the diff. The oil plug lines up. Not interfering. We don't have any interference with anything. So I'm gonna, ow. It's a little tight. These are a little tight. That's okay. But what we can see is we got clearance here. I do have to change the angle on this. I think I bent it too far. So we're not hitting though. I got space right in here to weld my little triangle in. Right back here. It looks like this hole here is gonna line up with that hole right there, the cross member. So overall, I think we're in good shape. So let's go ahead and pull this out. We'll make our little tweaks to it and let's get it welded up. All right, we got her all welded up. So welded all the holes, all of it up. This side, I just welded all the little tabs. You can't really see that. Just welded all those little tabs that there. Triangles fit okay. I don't know. The thing is it depends on the angle that you bend this thing, whether they fit right. So you find the best place those things fit, weld them in. Worked out pretty good. Welds turned out nice. I ground that weld out, but other than that, turned out pretty good. Now we're gonna slide it in here and see if it fit. I had to adjust my holes back here just a little bit. I don't know if I need to adjust my CAD model on those or not. My cross member's bent really bad because it's been hit a lot. That's why I'm putting a skid plate on it. On a stock cross member, these would probably fit just fine. So you may need to adjust your holes a little bit. Take a little file or a little arbor tool, whatever you have, file them out, and the bolts will go right in. So we're gonna slip this back in here and see if it still fits. Okay, so we got it slipped in here. The way I like to put these in, I think it works best, is get the 2 front bolts up here and here, put in. Which I have my light. I don't know where my light is, so you can see. I'll get it in a minute. Get those 2 in, get a jack underneath it, push it up until it touches the cross member back there. And what you're gonna do, see there's still a gap right here. Still a gap right here. I'm gonna take my hammer, just right here, right where the bolt is, and just, see, that's up tight. Same thing over here. We're tight. So that'll help get the back holes aligned a lot better. So jack's up, holding it up. We should be able to crawl in there and get some bolts in. So, all right, it's all bolted up. Looks really cool. I love the look of that thing from the front. So I'm gonna pull it off. I'm gonna primer it, paint it, and I'm gonna put it back on there, and it's gonna stay on there. So thanks for watching. If you want to order one, my email is in the description of this video. Shoot me an email. I don't know what pricing on them is right now. I'll have to check pricing when you send them to me because I have to take into account the cutting, the shipping, all that stuff. So shoot me an email. I try to keep them as cheap as I can. I don't put a big markup on them because I'm trying to get more of them sold, but it's kind of fun when I sell one. But thanks for watching.